Hello and welcome to Kickback with Kelly and Barbara. It's your Wednesday edition. And how you doing? Hump day, how you feeling?
I'm tired. I'm back to teaching classes now, and I completely forget the amount of energy that you expend teaching 3 classes in one day. And I've got,
Yeah, you can
I'm
tell the horse.
I'm a little bit
you're a little bit
huskier
hoarse
today. I'm like, hey girl, what's up?
Okay, so for those of you who are going out and about your daily lives, stop it. Okay?
Don't.
The community cases are on the rise, guys. We need to make sure that what we're doing is keeping them down. Make sure you're wearing your mask. Make sure you're checking in and out of all the different places.
Hand sanitize, everything, all
Trace
the time.
together app. Yeah. Just douse yourself in disinfectant.
Maybe don't.
Okay,
maybe not.
maybe not. Yeah,
maybe not.
maybe
Just
not.
your hands. Just your hands. Or wash with soap first, because apparently that's the most effective.
Apparently so. So the other thing is that I understand that people are very keen on getting out there. If you've been to IKEA, you would have noticed the massive queues because everyone wants to get on with decorating their houses that they've just bought, or maybe they're looking for inspiration for their new places. But what about the people that are looking to buy a new place? That must be pretty tough over the past couple of months because it's not like you can go and view a house or view a place to rent. So we have a little bit of a solution. We're exploring the technology behind what is going to take us to the next level when it comes to real estate here in Singapore and hopefully globally as well, with our first guest who's going to join us, co-founder and head of tech for Fiinkle, Mr. Wen Hao. Wen Hao, we're going to get you to join us
Nice.
here on set because we think it's really important. We're going to get you to sit over there. I know you like me, but you're going to go and sit
I've been
with Barbara.
challenged to sit here for a bit.
Okay, you can come and sit with me for a bit then.
Wow, I didn't know I was that repulsive. Thanks, Wen Hao.
Just like uncooperative guests or guests that know you for too long. So Wen Hao and I go way back. We've known each other since we were about 16, 17 years old.
Too long.
A little bit too long, yes. But aside from heading up an incredibly amazing creative agency, he has also started dabbling in new sorts of tech, namely virtual reality. And how is he applying that to the real estate agency? I want to know. Come tell us a little bit more about Fiinkle and what you're doing.
Well, the main idea of Fiinkle is that with technology coming up and actually it becoming more affordable, we're actually moving into the real estate space because it's something that helps people be able to see what they're doing, visit the property, experience it without actually having to build it. So there's a lot of effective ways to save money and cost, at the same time allowing people to really experience the size of the place, get a good grasp of where they are. So here you can see one of our partners demoing the unit, and then this is actually a property.
That's pretty cool. I mean, I think a lot of people are used to seeing the 3D walkthrough pictures and you double click and it expands.
And then,
and you
it goes
double
to
click
the left,
and it
and it goes to
expands.
the right, and you look up and you look down. But that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
And it's weird.
And there's no sense of space to it, but at least here you're actually able
because everything's in a wide shot.
explore it properly. And like you said, you can actually technically, physically be exploring the amount of space that you have, right?
Yep, you can. And if you look at headsets like these, this is actually done by Oculus, which is by Facebook.
Yep.
So the thing about technology is that it's hitting that point where the price versus the cost has actually come down to a point whereby it actually works for everyone. So it's something that can be used in a lot of practical reasons. Like a headset like that is now like $400 US. And that puts this VR thing into your hands. Whereas back then it was maybe a couple of $1,000s. You needed a big machine to get it going. Now it's like this.
It's like old computers versus new laptops.
Yes, kind of.
There you
A little
go.
bit like that.
See?
So yeah, and if you look at it, it's so easy to hand it around and be able to experience it. And that's it.
There's nothing.
You know?
Okay.
Yeah, it's turned off. Demo unit.
So just curious. So for this, you guys have obviously recently started this. Was it something that came about because of COVID, or were you already kind of exploring going into that avenue pre-COVID?
I think we were exploring this before COVID because I think fundamentally my experience is in 3D. So before COVID, it was something that we were into. Gaming as well. Like we do a lot of character assets for video games, like games that you've played out there, like AAA games. And the thing about VR is a little bit like taking architecture knowledge. The video animations that you see, the still images before you buy property.
Yeah.
So I think if any of you have bought property before, you know that whole walkthrough experience, the looking at the animations, they have all those images. I think VR is the next step in this sales experience.
So given that, how have both consumers and developers, I mean, you're going to be dealing with both ends of it, how have they responded to this concept of VR?
And again, I think back to that question you were saying, we started before COVID, and I think the pickup rate is a little bit slower here. It's happened in London and the US where it's a little bit more of a mainstay. But I think with COVID, I mean, when situations really put people in positions where they have to figure out new solutions, I think that's when innovation and everything suddenly becomes something that gets looked into a lot more.
And I think that innovation is very important, especially in these sorts of times where we can no longer just proceed with work the way that we have in its traditional form. And someone else who has been exploring taking real estate into a digital realm is one of our fellow real estate agents who's going to be joining us very, very shortly. We're going to pop off for a short break, though. When we return here on Kickback with Kelly and Barbara, we continue exploring how real estate can be done digitally with the help of all this newfangled technology. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is a dual key jumbo flat in Marsiling.
Lightning strikes by my
Size is over
window.
170 square meters, and you think about it, that's twice the size of your average BTO flat. In fact, almost twice the size, this house also comes with two houses. You've got one section, which is a 3-room flat here.
I absolutely love that.
I was like, going to say, you cannot control yourself. She's just like, the jumbo.
Welcome back to Kickback with Kelly and Barbara. We now have our second guest in studio with us. Welcome. We've got Heikal Shafrudin. I want to make sure that I didn't get your name wrong. Heikal Shafrudin, the Senior Associate Marketing Director of Hero Homes. So the video that we just saw isn't actually new. I mean, a lot of real estate agents have started doing, obviously, the walkthrough videos and stuff like that nowadays. But that was actually something in 2018 that was done. So you've been ahead of the game quite a while ago. Talk to us. So when did you guys start doing these digital videos?
Actually, just around, at the time, around 2018, 2017, we started to experiment with video marketing to stand out from the market because there's so many agents in the market. So that was really just a marketing angle, going through videos, talking about issues of properties, talking about going down to the houses itself to show our clients' houses that we are selling. So I think it's been quite a while. It's been a long journey. We've seen other agents picking up pace as well in terms of video marketing.
Copycat.
To be fair, we copied from the ideas from US as well. So I think we're just trying to make it a Singaporean thing after a while. Yeah, make it our own.
No, I think it's very important. I mean, when we were looking for our new house sometime last year, we were looking at photos, and you really can't quite get a sense of a place from just a photo. So actually seeing those video walkthroughs, I found really, really helpful because then at least you're able to explore the space a little bit more. You got to see a little bit more about how it could be dressed up, and just you guys just selling it with your personality. I mean, it really helps that you're well spoken, because I've seen some of the videos out there. They ain't as smooth and polished, but you've actually managed to corner this market. You're very, very good at selling. You're good at selling.
Yeah, I guess being able to talk freely in the videos does help with our brand as well. But otherwise, I guess it's really becoming a norm. And if you see our first generation videos, our first 10 videos, I will be laughing at myself as well. So it does come with a bit of practice. You do get better.
For sure.
After doing 100 videos today, I'm still nervous every time before I start any form of recording, but we just have to do it over and over again.
So let's talk about the stats then. Obviously, when COVID hit, there was a big impact on the property market. I mean, you got some of the statistics for the property market?
10% drop in sales, but the prices went down by like 1%.
Right. And was this something that you had noticed in your sales? Like, I mean, obviously, you're not going to get those people that are walking through, but if you've got the digital platform already cornered, then you were still able to kind of sell, were you?
Yeah, so of course, I guess for everyone, for the first 2 weeks of the circuit breaker, I think we all weren't too sure what's happening. So I think I don't think anyone sold anything in the first 2 weeks, but after that, people just realized that, hey, example for someone who just sold their property days before the circuit breaker implemented, because we weren't given any much warning, right? And then they have to find a place almost immediately, but because of circuit breaker, they can't go out. So what next? So after a while, we all realized that, hey, the way to move forward would be through videos, through Zoom home tours as well. And the first batch of buyers who took action, they were the ones who managed to get the prettiest, the handsomest properties in the market, because now you're buying houses through photos, through videos only. So those that can stand out through staging, and developers also have entered the game by preparing some form of very similar virtual tours as well, very high end nowadays, and we are selling through that kind of platform in today's market.
So that whole increase then, is that something that you're seeing as well? A lot more interest in developers saying, yeah, I think we're ready and we're good for this now.
Yeah, everyone's looking into it now, and I think another interesting fact. I was doing my studying last night. A lot of HDB resale value has resale houses has actually reduced because people can't actually go out and see it due to circuit breaker. But a lot of people actually don't mind looking at a 3D house and looking at the blueprints and everything and actually purchasing from there. Because one thing good is that it is actually it's almost like a contract. So what you see and what you're buying is one for one. So that's where it's working. So a lot of interest has been picking up actually.
I feel like it's difficult, right? Because even if you were to come to me and let's say I wanted to rent an apartment, I would feel very hesitant. Like, yes, you can do the VR. Yes, we can do like a Zoom call and show me, but you need to see it. I need to see if there is like mold in a corner. I need to see if like the cupboards are a little bit jacked out. Like, how much renovation do I need to do?
You want to know who's your neighbor and all that.
You want to know who's your neighbor. Are they noisy?
Yeah.
All these different things that it's almost like so many conversations that we've had on the show. For example, people buying food online, like fruits. You end up relying on
Photos.
the reputation of the seller.
That's right.
To know that yes, they're not gonna like scam me, right? They're not gonna sell me short on what I'm getting. But have you found that there has been much pushback from clients from both of you on the whole digital and virtual side of things?
Yeah, on my end, definitely. I think after a while, we all got so used to selling houses on Zoom, on videos. So I would invite people to join in our virtual tour open house on Zoom. And then they will they will reply saying that, you know what, I can view, but I will not buy until the circuit breaker is over. So as much as they are open to see all this media, they won't.
They want to touch.
Yeah, but on what Wen Hao mentioned just now, you're buying of blueprints, of floor plans. Actually, it's a very common thing even before COVID-19. Because for example, there are some properties where they are sold by the developers, the show flat has closed. So people are buying off floor plan, basically black lines on paper. That's it. That's all you're seeing.
That's true, actually.
And this
Now
is
that you
not
mention
just
that.
in recent times. When I first joined the industry in 2010, we were already selling houses based on floor plans
And I think
alone.
to that point, that's where VR and everything kind of comes in, right? Because I've done my, like, gone out and tried it as well. Like, they show you floor plans and they expect you to be able to know things like, they'll whisper to me like, oh, the ceiling is a little bit higher for this, it's a little bit lower.
Yeah.
You can't see that from a plan. So one of the things that we're looking into at
I have
Fiinkle,
no concept of space.
yeah, it's like you can't visualize it,
Well,
right?
like the annoying thing for me is that so even when you go to a showroom, they always modify the 5-room to be a 4-room, and suddenly it looks super spacious. And
The
you're like,
interior
oh,
design is
yes,
over-
this-
And like that
there's
is
no-
not a king size bed in there.
there is no wall
Yeah.
to define. Yep, that's the end of your apartment. It's just like a dotted line on the floor.
Yeah.
So you still don't really get that concept of space. Whereas if you do have that virtual reality aspect of it, it's sort of you are physically walking around and you will see, okay, there is a wall there, and I cannot go past that.
But you don't actually hit it
Yeah.
without the pain.
Yeah.
And I was just talking to Wen Hao about this actually, because some developers really do go all out to bells and whistles for the show flat. But what he can do, his technology can do, I believe, would be do 2 variants. One where you are selling the house properly with all the interior design. One where it's just 4
Bare
walls.
bones.
Then you can really
Exactly,
make a
exactly.
decision without any emotions.
Yep.
Yeah.
It removes all that marketing fluff, like
Yep.
decorations and
Very
everything
important,
else, and
actually.
also allows them to, with a single click, look at what that property actually, that space actually
Yeah.
is, and look for that potential. And I think in terms of a lot of developers, they tend to still build like so before COVID, right? We're not trying to remove the idea of being able to go down on site and look at a location and actually be able to touch and feel, but we were trying to aid in that sales process, because usually they only can afford maybe 1 or 2 of the units.
I was just
And-
going to say, you only ever see
Yeah.
like a sample of a 3-room, a 4-room, and maybe a studio, for example. But then what if you wanted to buy a different configuration? What if you wanted to see
and
something
then
else?
Heikal comes out, says hi,
Yes.
and then he uses this, and then he says, which other units would you like to explore?
Yeah.
And this basically becomes like a portable showroom in a way,
Yeah.
and it has so much ways to be able to
Why do
show
I feel
you
like this
everything
is a sales pitch?
Yeah,
To each other, yeah.
Very for his technology. It should be in Singapore already by now. I'm very sure in a few years' time it will be a very staple in.
One house like I
property
have to wait
industry.
for a few years.
Yeah.
So
I was hoping for like next month.
So then I have a question. Heikal, is this something that you would take up now? do you think?
Definitely. I mean, where we are today is probably one step below what Wen Hao is working on. So, if again, once I can go to the show flat, take out the machine, tell my clients that, hey, this is a 3-room unit, but you are a bit suspicious of the full. I mean, when you see it. with
Everything is in a wide angle lens online also.
yeah, but when you get to see in a different variant where it's just, I really believe that to be able to see the property without any interior design will really help the buyer. Because as much as we all feel that, I won't fall for marketing ploys, I won't fall for all these bells and whistles, but when you step into the show flat, I've seen so many times, it becomes a very emotional push to buy the property.
So just to wrap
Yeah.
us up then, top number 1 tip that you may have for someone who is looking to buy a house in these times?
Right. Don't wait, because really, I mean, we won't know what's going to happen in the next few weeks or months. If there's something that you see that you like, if you can view it in person today, by all means. But otherwise, get prepared to enter the new norm where we sell and buy houses through viewings through videos only, and maybe through virtual platforms as well. That means as a property agent, I get to sell houses in my bed. Don't have to step out of the house.
I think,
So
I think Wen Hao's on board with that.
Yeah.
Actually, we were talking about the sales reps actually going to people's houses and then actually demoing it there. So they actually feel a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more
Yeah.
relaxed. And then you guys can have that one-to-one instead of that sales
The
whole
atmosphere.
atmosphere.
Yeah.
And they get to build better ideas or decisions based around that.
Yeah.
Well, gents, thank you very much for sharing. I think definitely the future is, it's completely changed from what it was, even if we were talking about 6 months ago. So Heikal, thank you very much for sharing.
Same
Wen
for
Hao,
me.
thank you for
you.
sharing as well. Don't go away. When we come back from our break, Barbara and I are going to be bringing through a nice sweaty session for a quick circuit that you can do from the comfort of your own home. Don't go away. This is Kickback with Kelly and Barbara.
Step right up, draw the next card. You're one of the brighter animals, so get along with everybody else. Is the ship sinking? I've been thinking. Always thinking. I've been thinking. Been a little time to get along. One of these days you're gonna be. One of these days I'm gonna feel this haze. Gonna jump. A wake-up call, throw the next dart. Be one of a kind, original. Don't be another sign of the times. Fight. Wanna know the secret we get on? Wanna know the secret we get on? Try to find the feeling we belong. It's all for one and all for fun.
Hello, welcome
and
back to
welcome back
Kickback
to-
with Kelly and Barbara. I got it first.
It was a race.
Yeah, it was. It was a race. You know what? It's going to be a race as well to make sure that you're getting your core nice and activated. We're going to be showing you a quick workout that you can do from the comfort of your own home to work your obliques and your abdominal muscles. We are going to be doing four exercises in total. You'll be able to repeat these for 3 times total to give you a 15-minute workout.
5 sets. I would say go for 5 sets. Like, if you're going to put in the work, just do it all the way.
Exactly. So there you go. Wow. 5 times through. We'll see if
I'm
you're...
not doing it.
I was going
We're
to say,
just
we'll
gonna
see
do
if
one
you're good
set,
to do
and
5
then you can
times through
duplicate it.
later on. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to be doing is a push-up with rotation. Let's get down to it. And you can do this one on your knees or up high. Let's go. Down. Push up. Rotate. Okay, Barbara, you've actually got to go down, up, and rotate.
Is it? Oh, okay. And just, yeah, I go on my knees for the push-up. I've got a bad shoulder. I've been saying this literally since the start of Circuit Breaker.
We got another 15 seconds to go. Down, up, and rotate.
So
Rotate.
graceful when I
Last-
do rotation.
2 reps maybe.
Ah.
5 more seconds. Last rep. Push up
And just doing it really
and
slowly.
rotate. Very nice. And
Okay.
take a quick rest. The next thing we're going to be doing is working on your obliques. So if you go on your knees, extend one leg out to the side.
Okay.
Hands up overhead. And then what we're going to do is just lean out to the side, okay? Not yet. It's okay. Don't worry. We've got 5 more seconds
you're
before we need to.
demonstrating.
I was demonstrating. There we go.
I feel the burn already.
Okay. Hands up. Let's go. Tilt down and feel yourself crunching up in those upper obliques.
Okay, yeah, it worked. When I said I was okay doing core, I realized it's my obliques that I worked yesterday.
So up, and really you can use your hands and just feel your oblique to make sure that you're crunching it as you extend. Shorten that muscle. Then you want to, when you're going down, feel it lengthening and then contracting.
You've got such a nice zen voice when you go through these exercises.
If you want, you can also put your hands by your ears. That will reduce and sort of bring the center of gravity a little bit closer to you, which will make it a little bit easier. But for this purpose, let's go all the way and rest.
Okay. You notice how I didn't talk at all through that whole thing.
So we're going to switch over to the other side. So extend your other leg out. And same thing, when you go down, you want to make sure that you're extending and really lengthening that oblique on your side area just over here. Are you ready?
Feel like I could be a
Arms
graceful
up,
ballerina.
and let's go. Think about it, Barbara.
Think
There you go.
about
Extend and up.
And
Extend and up.
1, 2, and
Extend
down,
and up. Feel that
and
contraction just in your
and
obliques.
and down, and squeeze, and
You can do it.
And squeeze. I feel like the right side is a little bit easier. You've always got one stronger side.
Which would be, oh yeah, okay. You're doing
You
the
get what I
mirror.
mean?
So when you're going and extending, what you want to make sure is that also your ankles, your knees, your hips, your ribs, as
Like, you
well
don't
as
wanna be
your shoulders,
collapsing over.
everything is in one straight line when you're going down and extending out. You don't want to be rounding. You don't want to be bent over in any weird way. Extend straight and rest.
Okay.
Okay, so we've got one final exercise. Are you ready?
I mean, I don't have a choice, so.
No, you don't. It's a Russian twist. It's a nice
Oh, okay.
one just to work those
can do this
obliques,
one.
get a bit more of a stretch. But this time round, when you're doing this Russian twist, I don't want you to just touch, 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 touch. I want you to think of extending your hand out. So legs off the ground and let's go. Extend, extend, and really reach across. And suck in those abdominals. And send your chest up so that your back is nice and straight. You don't want to be caving in like that. You want a nice straight back as you're going up and extending out. Okay. If you're struggling at home, you can always put your legs back down. That is completely okay. But up,
How much more
keep
have you
going. We've got another 5 seconds.
Okay.
4,
I can deal with that.
3, 2, 1, and we are done.
Oh, the hips just went.
Ah.
The hip crack.
Alrighty, that's all we've got for today's Kickback with Kelly and Barbara. Don't forget, Friday is polling day.
Yes.
Whatever it is you are doing, make sure you have your allocated time. Everyone has been allocated a 2-hour window at your polling station to go and place
That's
your
right.
votes. Every single vote matters, so whoever you're voting for, vote wisely. Make sure, because your vote counts.
That's right. So we're putting Kickback on pause for Friday, but not to worry. We'll be back again next Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, as always, 8 p.m. on Get Active TV. This has been Kickback with Kelly and Barbara. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great week ahead.